As I watched the Nottoway plantation burn, all I saw was stories. Stories that would never be told. Not that they were being told anyway. That place wasn't a museum. It wasn't preserving history. It was a wedding venue. A picture perfect backdrop for couples who probably never thought twice about the stories hidden in the soil beneath their feet. But that's the problem with our history. Our stories are often word of mouth. They live and die with the people who tell them. And when we don't pass them down, they disappear, just like this plantation. But this isn't just about a grand old house burning down. It's about everything it stood for, everything it witnessed, everything we lost. Nottoway wasn't just some random mansion in the South. It was the largest antebellum mansion in the entire region. Now, antebellum just means before the Civil War. Built in 1859 by John Hampton Randolph, a wealthy sugar planter who came to Louisiana from Virginia. But Randolph was no newcomer to this brutal business. He already owned and operated other plantations in the region, including Forest Home, which he acquired in 1841. At first, Randolph made his fortune growing cotton, but by the mid 1850s, he saw the real money: sugar. But let's not sugarcoat it. Sugar plantations were among the most brutal. The work was relentless, the conditions deadly. The average life expectancy of an enslaved person on a sugar plantation, about 10 years. Nottoway was built with the labor of 155 slaves, men, women, and children who not only toiled in the sugarcane fields, but also molded the bricks, sawed the wood, and built the mansion with their own hands. We may not have all the stories we want, but we know for sure that the stories here could have never been sweet. And yet, just 2 years after Nottoway was completed, the Civil War broke out. Randolph, always a man chasing wealth, saw the writing on the wall. He fled to Texas with his slaves, trying to protect what he considered his property, leaving his wife and children behind at Nottoway to face the uncertainty of war. But even with the South in chaos, Nottoway survived. It survived the Civil War, Reconstruction, and even Hurricane Katrina. It stood as a reminder of a painful, complicated past. But it wasn't a place to learn that history. It was a moneymaker, a backdrop for weddings and luxury events, stories buried beneath a coat of fresh paint. And then, just days ago, it all went up in flames, a fire that moved fast, leaving nothing but ashes. No one knows what caused it. No answers, just questions. Some even noticed something strange. The infamous Annabelle, from that movie, made her first ever visit to New Orleans just days before the fire. Now, this is New Orleans, one of the most haunted cities in the country, so you can make of that what you wish. And whether the fire was an accident, something supernatural, or something else entirely, we haven't just lost a building. And I'm not just talking about the fire that happened the other day. I'm talking about a much bigger fire, a metaphorical fire that's been burning for centuries, a fire that's consumed our stories and our history because they were never written down. And that's why this page matters. That's why stories like this matter. Because no other group has to fight so hard to find their history. Others can trace their roots on a family tree, but for us, we have to dig. And our digging is dangerous and frustrating, but necessary, because our stories are often passed down by word of mouth. And when we don't pass them down, they disappear, just like this plantation. History isn't just in the books, it's in our voices, it's in our stories. And if we don't tell them, no one will. So let's keep our history alive, because once it's gone, it's gone. Make sure you comment, like, and share to help with the algorithm. And subscribe for more stories that they won't put in your textbook. Peace.